We cannot convince people to value things they already find to be worthless by giving them more of it. Let's listen to that again. Whether it is your love, your financial investment, your emotional investment, your empathy, your time, offering more of something that someone already doesn't appreciate or value will not get them to appreciate and value it. In fact, it will do the opposite. Creating a surplus of a resource that already is not valued, appreciated, or seen as having worth only serves to devalue it further. And that's not because the resource itself, again, that love, that time, that investment, that financial investment doesn't have value. It's because it is fully possible for another human being to experience the impact of your investment while not associating it with you at all. It is totally possible for someone's quality of life to improve and further reinforce their innate worthiness of that improvement while never actually tracing that improvement back to anything that you've done or anything that you've invested. It's also possible that they see your investment without a demand for reciprocity as evidence that they are worthy of that kind of love, appreciation, investment in the first place, largely because they think they're superior to you. Continuing to invest in a way that someone doesn't value actually reinforces their belief system that they deserve to get what they want or what they need from their environment, from the spaces they move through, from the people in their life, without ever having to offer anything in return or acknowledge it, appreciate it, or exist in gratitude towards it. This reinforces their worldview that simply just by moving through life and space, they are entitled to that degree of investment or treatment from others. So continuing to offer them more, literally creating more access to a resource that they don't value, will only serve to confirm that belief system for them again and again. There is an enormous amount of work and magic and marvel that love and abundance can and do create in this world. But exploitation and extraction, right? When we think about things being taken or twisted from us like a wrung out towel while we overextend to the point of our own destruction, that is neither love, right? And it is also never going to yield anything that feels like dignity or an effective value of our humanity. Seeing the degree to which people will disrespect and degrade us in real time is not a lesson that we need to learn through the redundant, repetitive witnessing of it. Over-identifying with suffering as the space that we take up in relationship, as the valuable thing we have to offer to get people to stay, to find us to be non-disposable, is never going to yield us dignity. And it will never coerce the reaction we're looking for in that other person. That moment, that rescue fantasy, that reunification fantasy we have playing in our head, well, maybe if I take and absorb all of this pain, all of this disrespect, all of this failed reciprocity, if I just give and give and give while being treated like garbage, they will eventually look up one day and see how much I have done and return that back to me. That is not the world that we occupy, relationally or otherwise. And I'm not talking about mistakes here. I'm not talking about, oops, I've gone ahead and taken you for granted in an instance by accident, repaired and resolved it. I'm talking about ongoing, unbalanced, inequitable dynamics in relationships that result in and demand for the relationship to function, one person to overextend themselves to the point of self-destruction, while the other one is the beneficiary of it without ever having to reciprocate, acknowledge, or appreciate it. This isn't an issue of extending grace, right? Because grace extends right up to the edge of someone else's personal responsibility. When people are able to recognize the power imbalances, the inequities in their relationships, the ways that maybe they have been exploiting, extracting, disdaining, dismissing the person beside them, and work consciously to problem solve, improve, and rectify that imbalance, that's a different conversation. The only thing that will yield us dignity ever is remembering that we are all born worthy of respect. And so orienting not how much we can prove people and convince people of that birthright, but finding spaces that actually reinforce that to us, right? That are done in a way that honors our humanity and honors the humanity of the people who also occupy those spaces. Staying in environments, in relationships, in jobs where the status quo is reciprocity, mutual care, and respect. It is such a squanderous waste of creative potential, of life potential, of friendship, of relationship, of time, of that gift we were given, all being able to matter, all inherently having worth, to spend the precious short rare life we have, the precious short rare amount of time we have on this planet, trying to get someone who already doesn't value us to value us. Trying to convince other people of something we already understand to be true, not just about ourselves, but for everyone. It is the girls that get it, and the girls that don't situation. And so if you want to shift how you're treated, it needs to be a shift of where you go and how you access value, right? It needs to be a shift of orienting towards spaces that dignify, or organizing your life around people and experiences that will lift up your sense of self, your concept of worth, inherently just by occupying those spaces or relationships. It is by understanding deeply that true generosity and true gratitude are never coerced, that they are given freely from a place of source and abundance. And they are welcomed with that degree of care and respect as well.